We are a group of people who all work in our own ways to help work towards a place in which we can live, that 7, 8 and 9 billion of people within the limits of our planet and living well. What does living well mean? Living well means living out of poverty and living at some kind of a level of happiness and fulfillment that works for all of us. What does the limits of the world mean? The limits of the world is basically meaning that all of us, 7, 8 or 9 billion people, live within the resources that we have, and that we live within the one planet that we have. Who are you? You are people who are concerned about the world and who care about making a difference for the world, for the future. What do we share? We are all people of a kind of a mindset where we understand that things cannot continue as they are right now. And we are willing to embrace the roles that we have and the places that we occupy to make a difference, so that together we can build towards a better world. Now, what is that dream that our project 50+20 has? Basically, the group of people that we are said, well, one of the things that this future world needs is leaders who can help us get there. And that's where leadership education comes into it. Leadership education is conducted in many different ways. Business schools, leadership institutes. Actually, start your own business and you learn it very quickly as well. But we said, as business and management educators, we have a particular responsibility. So we want to look at that. And we said, well, we looked at all the things that have gone well and not so well, and business schools in particular have been very much criticized over the past decade for what we have done and what kind of leaders we have produced. So we wanted to have a big, strong look at ourselves and say, well, what about if we could clean the slate and start from scratch? What kind of an educational and research environment would we develop? And what we came up with is that we said, actually, we need to go a step further and look at what is our true contribution to this world where 9 billion people can live well and within the limits of the planet. What is our contribution? We cannot phrase it in terms of our activities, i.e. education and research. We need to look at it in terms of contributions that we make. And very quickly we realized that these contributions are threefold. One of them is that we need to enable the development of future globally responsible leaders. And with developing such leaders, we mean, on one hand, we need to transform the 1% of leaders that are currently in power, and on the other hand, we need to educate the many, many leaders that have a desire to learn on how to lead well towards this better world in the emerging and developing countries. So that is one aspect. The other aspect is to say, if we want to jointly get to this world where we can all live together within the limits of the planet, we need to help business to become a driving force into starting to work for this common good. And our role is to help business serve the global common good. That's our second objective. And the third objective is, well, we also need to assume our role as statesmen. And that really means that we need to embrace and probably help shape the public dialogue to make sure that the economic system within which we are is transformed into one that serves, again, the global common good. So, if you look at these three aspects, developing globally responsible leaders, enabling companies to serve the common good, and shaping the public agenda to transform the economic system, we can summarize that in kind of one core vision or mission that we have, which is to provide responsible leadership for a sustainable world. Now, that is our dream. Now, how would we go about doing that? There are many different ways to do that. And of course, research and education and consulting and engagement in public, or being public intellectuals, become a place of that. Most importantly, what we said is if we could start with building a new organization, what we would do is we would organize a structure that serves this vision and these three goals that we have identified. And we would measure everybody who is in that system, whether it's the deans and directors, the faculty, the staff, the students, whoever is part of that system. We would evaluate their fit in our system in accordance to the value that they add to us delivering and succeeding in contributing to the value of achieving these three goals. What does that mean? It basically means that all of us need to walk the talk. We need ourselves to become globally responsible leaders. And that's kind of where the challenge starts. We have all worked in our own different ways to the best of our abilities to contribute to making leadership and managerial development work. But we haven't managed to do it individually or in the small groups that we have been at. We need to do it together. And for that, we need to develop a collaboratory. We need to engage into a collaborative effort where not only we as isolated business and management educators, but all of us, you who may be an emerging entrepreneur, a student, somebody from government in policy making, but also environmentalists, NGOs, activists, business people, consultants, executives, even grandmothers with their great wisdom of storytelling, where we get together. Let's call our group of like-minded people, concerned citizens, where we get together and around a specific topic we meet. Let's say the energy problem, or climate change, or water scarcity, or ocean pollution. And we meet, and rather than looking at functions or disciplines such as finance and marketing and HR and strategy, we will look at the issue. And we will first identify, okay, so let's understand the issue. What does that mean on a global scale? What does that mean on a local scale? And what kind of potential solutions can we together think of that can help resolve the issue? And as we go forward, we will develop entrepreneurial solutions or next steps that we could embark on. And as we look at them, we will create a business plan, and we look at marketing, and we look at finance, of course, and we look at the strategy, and we will try and measure the activity of what we do in terms of how it serves the resolution of this issue. So we will organize around issues rather than organizing around disciplines. And by doing that, we kind of embark on a joint adventure or journey together with all the stakeholders that are concerned by this issue to its resolution. Because one of the things in this world where things have gotten so complex that if I pull a leaf here, I don't know what happens there and there and there. All we can probably do is to decide what is our next step. And then we need to be able to hold that tension, make that step, evaluate whether it was a step in the right direction, decide where the next step should be, and act again. So there's no sense in developing 5-year strategies anymore. What we need to be clear is where our ultimate goal is, and then we need to embark on a joint journey whereby we kind of elegantly stumble forward together towards this better world. Thank you.